Hi, everyone. It's Dr. Arlene Diamco, the multidimensional MD. I am back after several month hiatus that was unplanned, but there were so many things going on in my life that I felt like it was a gift to me to take a little bit of a break. And now I'm back, and I'm so happy to be here with all of you because this is these little moments and ways that we connect and share help remind us of our humanity, and we could sure use a lot of that right now. For today's episode, I'll be talking about how to stay soft in a hard world. And this was inspired by a conversation I had with one of my patients the other week. And that was the question. It's like, how do you do that? How do you stay soft when this world is so hard or can feel so hard to live in? And we need these reminders because life can be challenging and and we need these ways to be able to talk about it to help give us the momentum, to help lift us up, to help keep us going. So the first thing I'd like to talk about is to remind you to see the light in you, to focus on your own light, your essence, that which is really you, that true self of you, your authentic self, you completely free and unhindered, which we can lose sight of. So to look and see and within you, what is that? What is my essence? What is my soul essence? What is that calling within me? Because the thing is that the darkness cannot exist in the light. So if you can look within yourself and remind yourself of your own light, of that good within you, then you you can walk through chaos. You can walk through difficult times and feel that you're still able to maintain yourself. You are still able to connect with yourself because that goodness is you. And they say that God, the word God, the term God is the good. You can use another term for that. The stillness, the creative forces, the universe. That is you. You are this microcosm, part of the macrocosm, and you are a unique emanation of that stillness. You're a unique emanation of those creative forces. So if you can remind yourself of that, then you can see that light within you that never goes out. And the next step is to see the goodness within others. Mr. Rogers used to say that his mom would tell him to look for the helpers. Anytime there are difficult things going on and you you don't know where to turn, it's like look for the helpers because there's somebody doing good in the world. Even with all the difficulties and what seems like darkness in the world, there is still always good in the world. And you get reminders of that every day. Last night, I was just cleaning up in the kitchen and I got a text message that a car had driven like crazy in the neighborhood, going the wrong way onto the grass, onto the neighbors' lawns, and had unfortunately smashed into our mailbox and driven away. And when I went outside, this was about 10 o'clock last night, it was a curious thing to see that, my mailbox, which is a strong metal mailbox, was completely flat on the ground, and some of it had smashed into pieces. But I was also delighted to see that, my neighbors were out in the cul-de-sac trying to piece together what happened and talking together calmly, and I hadn't seen many of them, in many months, and so it was like an impromptu neighborhood gathering, and it reminded me that we are still warm and friendly and a neighborhood, and, despite any, disagreements or anything, that we can all come together and help each other. And I thought that was a beautiful thing. And I was also looking around because one of my neighbors was asking me, "Are you okay? This happened to your property." But part of me I almost felt like laughing because I looked around and I'm looking at everyone. I'm like, yeah, we're all okay. We're great. And saw these like streaks of from the wheels on the neighbor's grass, but and I saw 'em, looked at my mailbox on the ground again, and I was like, yeah, but that was the only thing. If there was anything to hit, like that's probably the best thing. There were no living creatures injured. No one was out on a walk. No one's dog got hurt. No cars were hit. The houses were left intact. This was a small thing given what had happened, and that made me smile on the inside, even though it's something rather smallish in the big scheme of things had happened. Um, eh, I was smiling on the inside because I was looking at all the neighbors getting together. And the next thing to remember is to use your mind, because you can use your mind to free yourself, or you could use your mind to trap yourself. A lot of times we get into these mind loops and the never ending what ifs or worries. If you can choose to continue to attune your mind to the stillness, that light that is within you and that is everywhere. Tune it to the creative forces. You can actually like tell yourself, I choose to attune myself, to harmonize, to synchronize with the stillness, with the creative forces, because that love is greater than everything. It can encompass anything that you're going through, anything that you've thought, said, or done, anything that you've been through, anything that has been done to you or said to you, whatever you're going through, that love creates a nest that is bigger than all of that. So, can you imagine a better world? Because in order to take steps towards one, we need to be able to imagine it first. So, what would that be? Can you even imagine a heaven on earth? What step can we take? And my husband had reminded me earlier today, let's lead with love. Like, how can we make that the foundation? How can we make that the starting point? So we can use our minds to choose to make love the foundation, the starting point, and then we can make our decisions from there. We can choose our words from there. We can choose our actions from there. And of course, it's important to connect with other living beings, with other humans, with the plants and animals, the earth, with the greater spirit, and to create this community. I was reminded so much of that when I was in Italy last week. I was teaching an amazing, beautiful group of osteopaths. And even though I had never met these people together before, I had this feeling that I was reconnecting with this soul family that I did know them. My soul knew them, even though my human self was just meeting them for for the first time. And and the way they celebrated every meal together. I've never been to a conference where we literally ate every meal together. We had breakfast together, we had lunch together, we had dinners together. So this was with me, my co-teacher, a translator, and 32 students, so about 35 of us. And we moved as a group, we flowed through the days together. And it didn't matter what constitution people had, what personalities they had. You could be really loud, you could talk a lot, you could be real quiet or shyer, and everyone felt completely content being together, and everyone gave each other the permission, the space to be themselves. No one was left out. We were all part of this amazing family for the week. And that celebration of connection with each other, with using the mealtime, not just for nourishment with food, but for nourishment of our souls, and for them to be so intentional about that was really beautiful and a reminder of how we can create that for ourselves here. And I had asked them, I was like, how do you do that? Sometimes my kids are at different ages And our activities are at different times, but in Italy, they said that no, the activities end at a certain time so that the families can come together. It's actually a part of their culture. And here in the United States, we are so much everywhere and busy a lot of the time. But can we create those spaces for ourselves where we make the intention that this is our family or with friends or whoever you're connecting to, this is your time that you create together to be together, not just for nourishment of our bodies, but for nourishment of our souls. And I just, gosh, there's so many things I could say about that. It was such a different culture, but warm and friendly. And it really made me think about how can we slow down in different ways and recreate that in our lives, even in a different culture. And it's about being intentional. It's about choosing it. Again, like using your mind to lead with love, to see the light within you, to see the goodness in others, and to connect with other living beings so that we can create these loving communities, these pockets of loving communities. And if we create that in different parts of the world, then we have this whole network that we're creating for the whole Earth sphere, and we will elevate ourselves together. That rise in consciousness that I had talked about in my last podcast. So, to review, see the light in you. You are light. You are a unique emanation of the creative forces. This is the true you. So see that goodness in you and then extend that to see the goodness in others. There is more goodness in the world than darkness. Focus on that so that we can expand on that. Wherever we focus grows. We will choose to use our minds to focus on that love and light and then lead from that so that our words, our thoughts, our words, our actions are emanating from that. And we have that foundation of the love and light. And through that, we choose to create our community from the small communities that extend outward to the larger communities. And that is healing. That is health. This is the true health that we need to talk about in medicine, in wellness spheres, everywhere through our education, through our government, through all the organizations, through the business, and in all aspects. If we approach it like this, then we will be healing ourselves from within and from without. So as within, so without. And we are each part of that. To help you find your grounding and your centering, I have a free grounding and heart centering meditation that I use with many of my teachings, from the osteopathic courses to etheric body healing. It's a way that I help people to tune into themselves, to feel who they are, to center themselves in that love and light, and then be able to move through the day just like that. Because it's the gentleness that we cultivate within ourselves that is the true strength. And if we can ground and center in that and flow through the day with that center and returning to our center every time we need to, as a reminder, you will access so much of your natural state of health, because health is in the flow, health is your natural state, and this is how we can access it. There's a link in the comments or in the description. If you click on that, you can download the meditation. Please share with anybody that you think could use it, because we need to create more of this in the world. Thank you so much for joining me again. It's Dr. Arlene Diamco, the multidimensional MD, in Italy known as Arlena Diamco, which I love my name, Arlena, in Italian. So lots of love to all of you. Thank you for joining me again today. And I hope to be back with you on other Wednesdays for another episode of the Multidimensional MD. Bye for now.